talking about the worst. Can you feel the flow? We dissect the plot. The acting is insane. Laughing at the dialogue. These movies are a pain. Grab your popcorn, settle in for the ride. Our podcast is the place where bad movies collide. We're true blue fans of the RiffTrax crew, mocking cheesy films. It's what they love to do. From Plan 9 to The Room, we've seen it all. They'll make you laugh and cringe. They always give their all. True Blue Riffcast, we're your podcast hosts, talking about the movies that are the worst of the worst. True Blue Riffcast, join us on this quest to find the laughs in films that failed the test. Tuesdays at 10. Tuesdays at 10. Tuesdays at 10.
Hey guys, welcome to the True Blue Riffcast with your hosts, Jeremy and Dave. My name is Christine DeBelle, but many of you know me as Susan from A Talking Cat. And as you know, I have to go and get my cheese puffs out of the oven. So have a great time with Jeremy and Dave. See you soon.
This is the True Blue Riffcast, the number one RiffTrax podcast in the world. The world, Dave. I'm Jeremy, and I'm joined, as always, by...
Oh, I was like, when is he going to shut up and let me come in? I'm Dave, and I'm the number one RiffTrax fan in the world.
Okay.
All right. Yeah,
I'll let you have that little delusion today.
That bit is 6 years old.
Oh, how's it going, man?
Oh man, I feel like we're coming in mid conversation. That's what I feel like. I feel like we have some things unsaid, like we have some unfinished business.
Yeah, we do.
Maybe we should address that really quick.
Last week during the podcast, about 40 minutes into it, my computer decided that it would be the perfect time to run a Windows update.
Yeah, and... it was so weird because I was talking about Galaxy Invader, right? And I went back and I looked at like the exact moment where Jeremy's computer crashed, and he goes like this. Like, I'm just talking. I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. Dave's talking. And then he just goes like, and then boom, nothing. And like, I caught his reaction to whatever it was he was doing. But like, I'm taking over your computer now. And so it's kind of a shame because it was a pretty good, I don't know if my performance on Dave That Riff was good, but it was good content. Yeah. We had a nice long rant about the Minecraft movie, which I think we'll probably cover a little bit more tonight. And we were in good. It was a good discussion about the Galaxy Invader, and now it's a lost episode. Yeah.
Unless you are a member of our Patreon, True Blue Riffcast, patreon.com/True Blue Riffcast. It will be posted up there for everybody to see up there. Why isn't I'm trying to figure out why my chat box isn't working.
I
Sorry,
can't open it right here. No, Oliver is there. Sound off if you're here in the chat, everybody. I'm totally pressuring you to engage with us on the True Blue Riffcast.
I don't know where it went. Oh, there it goes. Okay. This is working.
This
Good.
is great radio, everybody.
Okay. Yeah, great radio. Okay, so that's working. That's good to know. Anyway, I do actually have a little bit more to rant about with Minecraft, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yes, we certainly will, because there have been some developments.
Yeah. There's also some.
But Jeremy, wasn't there a new release?
What's that? For RiffTrax? Yeah.
Yeah, RiffTrax.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be kind of talking about tonight.
Talk about on our podcast.
Yeah. We're going to be talking a little bit about Black Belt Angels tonight. Dave's going to finish his thoughts on Galaxy Invader.
Yes, that's correct.
I've got some Minecraft stuff to rant about. And, I got to touch on something that happened last week. Because it was kind of weird. It is not usually how things go for ticket sales for RiffTrax Live.
Oh, okay.
But I do at least want to mention it, especially since Oliver's in the chat here. So usually, tickets go on sale for backers the day before they go on sale to the general public.
Yeah, that's right.
Usually, the Bell Court will hold tickets for the general release day. And for whatever reason, they didn't do that this year. And tickets went very quickly. I was sitting here at my computer. I had the pre-sale code on my clipboard, so all I had to do was paste it into the box. I was all logged in.
On it.
I was right on it. As
like
soon as 11 o'clock hit, I
fan
refreshed it.
be.
I added my tickets to the cart, bought them.
Boom, $130 right there.
A little more than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they went up a little bit.
Oh, wow.
And so I sent a message to our friend Josh Flowers. And I said, I got my tickets. And he said, I got my tickets. And then, like, 2 minutes later, I messaged Oliver. And I'm like, hey, I got my tickets. And he said, hey, I didn't. And I'm like, oh, what? And I looked, and they were sold out. They sold out in apparently, like, 2 minutes. They were gone. The entirety of the show was sold out.
I have a theory about this, by the way.
Which, that usually doesn't happen. Now, I know, that it's always been a thing for the Kickstarter stuff, like, just because you're a backer, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to get a ticket, because people are always asking, like, how come I don't get a ticket with my backing of this? And they're like, that's because that's not how it works.
Yeah,
we can't guarantee everybody.
I didn't even know that this had happened.
Yeah, and so I get that part of it, but it really sucks for everybody who wasn't able to be there right at 11 o'clock, or like Oliver said, it wouldn't load right for him. That's probably because everybody else was on there snatching them up. And they had a limit. It was like 4 per person. So, but the Bell Court is only like 100.
Bell Court is not a big theater.
It's like 180 seats. It's like one of the smallest auditoriums at my theater.
I remember when I went in 2016 from Mothra.
Yeah.
I was shocked at how small the theater was in real life.
Same.
On the outside. And I was even more surprised at how small it was on the inside. Like, they do a really good job of making that auditorium there that they do that in, making it look huge.
Yeah.
And it's not.
It's not. I was shocked at that too.
Stunned.
When I went for Rad for the first time we went down there, I was very surprised at how small it actually was. And like, I don't know how the Bell Court's set up. I know our theater, we have like 3 different size auditoriums. Like, we have one that holds like 400 people. We have a couple that hold like 300 people, and then the rest are like 180. I
think when I went to Nashville in 2016, I think that there was the first live show after like their big renovation. Because if you go back and you look at before Mothra, like the 2015 live shows and all that, like the exterior is very different. The interior is not that different, but they definitely did a lot of work, particularly to the outside of the Belcourt. And like, man, you can go down like that road that the Belcourt is on. It's tiny.
Oh yeah.
It's like I was really surprised at the kind of well, that sounds awful for me to say, but like the kind of venue that the Belcourt is, because you think that the way they shoot it, like it's very like they have some excellent camera work there at RiffTrax. Oh my goodness. Jeremy sneeze just interrupted my train of thought. But
hey, I muted it.
They do a really good job of making the Belcourt look huge.
Yeah.
And when you get there, it's like kind of like, because it's not a bad venue. It's not a it's not like a hole in the wall or anything like that. But it's like on this little tiny road. And it's a smaller venue.
Yep.
It's not what I really expected at all, but it was a great experience, you know, considering what else was going, you know, like everything else that was going on when I went. And I should probably go again just so that I can say I went to RiffTrax Live and wasn't engaged in a legal flame war with James Wen.
Yeah.
That sort of like colored my whole experience with that. But my theory is that why these went so quickly is because, when I went to Mothra, I didn't have any problems. Well, I mean, like I booked tickets, and I don't want to really say how. Let's just say I intended to purchase the tickets myself, and if I had, I don't think I would have a problem acquiring them because it was like 2 months out. I'll just go ahead and say it. RiffTrax was very generous, and they had me there as a guest. So that was very, very generous and kind of them to do that. But back then they were doing 4 shows a year.
Yeah.
That year, let's see if I can remember. They did Time Chasers, the MSG3K Live, Mothra, and they did what was it that year? Carnival of Souls. So they were still in the midst of like their big multiple shows a year, like that whole thing. And so I don't think, while they certainly sold out, I don't think they were in as high demand back then, 9 years ago. Now they're down, they went down to 3, and then it was 2 for a while, and now it's just 1.
Yep.
So it's the live event, and like especially like now, like it's not even like they say RiffTrax Live, it's recorded live.
Yeah.
But it's not going out live.
Yeah, this is one of the biggest gaps too, because it doesn't it records at the end of June, and it doesn't go out till the 2nd or 3rd week of August.
Exactly. And I think it was that way last year as well.
It was, but it wasn't quite that long, because it was the last weekend of July, and then it was a couple weeks later it was live.
Right, I understand.
But this is like a month and a half.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's not live anymore.
Right.
So I think that makes, number one, the quantity of shows per year is down 75% from 9 years ago, a decade ago, during the RiffTrax Live heyday. And it's not going out live.
Right.
So that experience at the Belcourt, to be there genuinely live, the demand for the demand for tickets to this experience is through the roof.
Yeah.
So I think that, people who really, really want to get in on this, they got to be on the ball. And I'm not blaming anybody for not being on the ball or anything like that. It's not a judgment. But man, it's crazy. Like, and I hate to say it, but at some point we're probably not going to have RiffTrax live anymore. At some point, I would probably say in the next 15 years, at least.
Yeah.
Like these
or
live
or
shows
it'll
are
all
gonna
just be in
Minneapolis.
Because that's they all live around there, so
yeah,
it's a little easier for them to get there.
They're not. I don't want to be mean, and I'm not. But I'm not as young as I used to be. And these guys are older than I am.
Yeah.
And I'm a grouchy old man. And I don't like to travel. So I can only imagine what it's like for these seasoned pros. It would be like, look, I don't want to go to Nashville 4 times a fucking year.
Yeah.
It's totally understandable. Yeah. And hey, if they go to just Minneapolis, like I think I would want to like the next live show that I go to, and I do want to go to another one. I know that that's a big thing that I don't want to say that I'm criticized for. I know Jeremy gives me some crap about it, but that's like in jest.
Yeah.
Just kind of like how I would give him a hard time about, I went to Mothra and he's never been to RiffTrax. It's all jokes.
Yeah. As much crap as he gave me about going to a live show before I was ever able to.
Yeah.
I got to get it back a little bit.
It's all fun jokes between all of us, but I do know that I was very surprised to find out that the last couple of live shows that my presence was expressly noticeable. And I'm just like, and from people at RiffTrax have said to Jeremy, where is Dave? And I was like, oh my gosh, they still know who I am. So, and, but not just those, but just like, people that I know from the community and from the audience of this, and you too, Jeremy.
Yeah.
So I think I do want to go to another one, and I do feel bad, about not going, when I have people there that I can actually, would appreciate my presence.
Yeah. And I do feel bad for at least some of the people that weren't able to get tickets. Oliver.
Yeah.
I've seen Oliver at the last 2 live shows, and it's gonna be disappointing not seeing him again this year. But I do think I think I've had my experience in Nashville, and I think I do want to go to one more, but I think I want it to be in Minneapolis the State Theater is
just
gorgeous.
to have that well-rounded experience.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the weekend box office real quick. Number 1 movie of the weekend, Sinners, which I've heard is really, really good, and I just have not had the chance to watch it. That movie has been kicking our asses for the last 2 weeks, where almost every showing has at least 150 people in it.
How many chickens?
None. No chickens. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, the 20th anniversary.
We had a long discussion about this before the podcast, guys.
The Accountant 2, the new Ben Affleck action movie, $24.5 million. A Minecraft movie down to 4th place, and Until Dawn in 5th place. Now,
oh wow, yeah, okay, that's a great game, but I've seen the trailers for the movie, and it looks like garbage.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the game.
Yeah.
But
how very surprising. It has nothing to do with the game.
Yeah, surprising.
Man, video games movie, man, and I know we're probably going to talk about this more extensively because I know you have a lot to say about the Minecraft movie. Now, that's another thing. From the Lost episode, we had a lot of good stuff, but that's going to get recapped again. But man, like, and I know it was 4 years ago now, like the last Mortal Kombat movie. I still have like, man, fuck that movie.
That movie was awful. It was worse than the original Mortal Kombat movie. Like,
yeah, but,
by far.
Like,
because the original tried to follow Mortal Kombat a little bit better. It actually, they weren't just trying to be like dark and gritty with it, which is always a great direction to take a franchise, guys.
Dark
always
and gritty.
A great direction.
Rainbow bright, dark and gritty.
Rainbow dark.
Rainbow dark, rainbow grit.
So if you're in the Discord, I posted a screenshot from a news story, and I wanna start by saying this: Warner Brothers can go eat shit, because
Dude, I saw this. Hold on, Jeremy. I saw this and I was like, why are they encouraging horrible behavior? Like, this is a lawsuit waiting to happen.
I don't know. Okay, so starting on Friday, May 2nd, there are special showings of the Minecraft movie, a Minecraft movie block party edition, made for those who want to yell chicken jockey and I am Steve and lose their shit during the movie. And this is not a good thing. Because as a manager of a movie theater, this is something that I hate so much. We've thankfully at our location we didn't deal with the popcorn throwing or the fireworks or the fire extinguisher opened up in the middle of the movie causing people to go to the hospital. But part of it too is the director of the movie. I'm going to read this quote from the director of the movie, okay?
That's another thing about the Lost episode. We had this great discussion about how I hate Napoleon Dynamite, and now it's lost to time.
Yeah. Jess Hess had this to
Jared
say
Hess,
about
right.
the reaction to people in the movie. It's funny because I think it's just literally cheering and throwing popcorn, which is so funny to me that cops are getting called for popcorn. Yeah, it's hilarious. I've seen so many funny videos. It's great. Especially when people are climbing on their friends' shoulders and standing up and cheering for these moments. It's like this crazy anticipation. But, man, I'm glad people are making memories with their friends and families. You know what, Jess? You can eat shit, too. Because
go make memories in jail.
You're encouraging people to literally trash theaters. If you guys haven't seen any of the videos from inside, people are literally throwing entire buckets of popcorn. It's like it's nothing I've ever seen before. And now they're encouraging people to react strongly to this. And I tell you what, people are still going to get booted out if they throw stuff. If you're throwing popcorn, yes, if you're encouraged to yell and have fun, that's fine. That's one thing. And I'm glad that they're trying to.
It was okay.
Yeah.
It was all right, Jeremy. They told us we could.
But throwing the stuff and making a mess, no, I will be in there and I will stop the movie and people will be gone. The whole movie will be done. But all that to say this. My general manager she did something really good with this because it's one screening a day that we have to have of this block party edition. And she's put it at the earliest showtime that we have every day. So 11:30 a.m. on Friday, 11:30 a.m. on Saturday, 11 a.m. on Sunday, noon on Monday. Like, people are going to be in school. So
the kids are in school.
So we won't really have to worry about it too much. At our location,
so it's making me talk like this.
But there's going to be other locations that do this at a prime time setting, and it's going to be bad. Yes, 100%. It is a nightmare at noon, and I agree with you too, Citizen. People pay at our theater. It's $9 for a large popcorn. I know there's some places that charge $12, $15, $20 for large popcorns, depending on what part of the country you're in. And that's that's a shame that you're going to spend that much money on that just to chuck it. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yes, that's right. Hey, Phantomman, are you a chicken jockey? Don't you bite my face? Don't you do it? Oh, okay, bye. All right, that was my cat, everybody. He wants to be a star until he gets put on camera.
The now mandatory part of the podcast with Trash Kitty.
That's right. That is correct.
But I think it's time for Name That Jeremy.
That's right. So last week, let's recap, Dave, that riff from last week.
Do you remember what you got right?
I don't think I did that great.
Let me bring up the sheet here. I can kind of vamp with this for a second.
But I don't remember what the other one was.
The Wizard and the Visitor. While I'm trying to bring this up, I can vamp on this a little bit.
All right.
Our 16-year-old had her play performances over this past weekend of Too Many Detectives at the Murder Mansion. And she was Velma Dinkley because they had the Scooby-Doo gang.
Scoob-Doob.
They had Batman, Sherlock Holmes, Sam Spade, Nancy Drew, the Hardy Boys, and Miss Marple. And they had a bit in there where Miss Marple and Batman were falling in love and they were making out. And she pulls away from kissing him and she's like, "You're wearing all that rubber and it's like I'm kissing a tire."
Oh my God, your daughter said that?
No, that was Miss Marple.
Oh,
because Batman was, the rubber suit. She's like, "You're wearing all this rubber. It's like I'm kissing a tire."
Agatha Christie would be so proud.
Yeah. No, my daughter was Velma. She did a really good job. She had this whole monologue about dark Velma and how she would crush people.
Have I ever have I told the story on the podcast about I guess I'll just do it now. And we'll get to Name That Jeremy in just a second. But you brought up Scooby-Doo and weirdness with Scooby-Doo. Okay, so last year, believe it or not, I was in talks with a publisher to write an original work for them. And this publisher, I'm just going to say it, it's smut for men.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about this.
It was smut for men. And they're like, "Do you want to write, we can give you a readership. You just have to write male sex fantasies." And I was just like, okay, well, I wrote Nostalgia Inc. And they're like, "Here are all of these titles for you to read or listen to." Because I read on audiobook because it's more effective for me. And they're like, "Here are all these," and I got it. I pitched them some ideas. They didn't like them. And they're like, "Write us something with dragons that hasn't been done before." And I was just like, okay. And so I pitched them this idea, and they're like, "Great, we'll give you some money as soon as you complete 65% of it." And I was just like, well, okay, but okay. So anyway, all that, I didn't finish 65. I just kind of let it go by the wayside because I don't want to write this kind of stuff. So that all went away. But one of the titles that they sent me to read, again, it's all just really gross filth. It's like the most gross furry porn that you can imagine. And one of them, and I'll just give you a little sample of it, and it's
I know where you're going.
Okay, now, well, I mean, I've started the story, so we're going there.
Oh, Dave.
All right. So, but or hang on, let me bring up the chat because I I kind of want to get people's reaction to this. I will try to be as delicate as I can. Look at Jeremy's face. He does not want me to tell this story. Okay. Okay.
Am I going to have to add something new to the True Blue lexicon?
Okay, maybe. But one of the series that they had me read was a Scooby-Doo knockoff that was erotic.
No.
Okay, so like in this genre, it's called harem genre, and it's where the guy has like 4 or 5 chicks that he consistently bangs. Okay. And okay, so you would think that like he would just be like, okay, I'm doing Daphne, I'm doing Velma, and that's it. No, he has to have an extensive harem. All right. So the primary female in Shaggy in the Shaggy knockoffs, and there are 3 of these books, by the way, in the Shaggy knockoffs harem, the primary female, the lead female in this harem is the Scooby-Doo. So, and in this genre, I mean, this is in female erotica as well, like written by female. Like, no, there's a whole. I'm not making this up. There's a whole genre of they call it shifter erotica.
Oh God!
Where, like, people can like transform into animals like bears and wolves and like all this stuff. So
I hate that I know what that is.
And so in this series, the shifter is the Scooby Dog.
No,
I'm not kidding. No, this is a real thing. And so I'm listening to it, and so like the Scooby Dog is like it's a dog first. The Scooby is a dog first. Scooby is a dog first, and it's Shaggy's loyal dog, until suddenly it reveals himself that Scooby-Doo reveals itself. It transforms into its human form to be a beautiful lady, and he's only known this shifter as his loyal dog, his loyal pup. And in the same scene in which he discovers that his dog is now a beautiful lady, the beautiful lady is like, well, I have to go take a shower now. And his first reaction is like, well, time to go fuck this dog. And it happens. And this is the kind of thing they wanted me to write. And I was like, no. So I after saying that I would write them a dragon story about some crazy shit, this thing that I pitched them, I politely fell off the face of the earth. And that was a year ago. And I just assumed that they're like, well, I didn't sign anything. So I wasn't like contractually obligated for it. They're like, well, just write 60% of it and then come back and we'll give you your advance. I'm like, okay, sure. And I just like, no.
Nope. Okay, next topic. Let's go.
So Jeremy is like, I have to update my computer now. This will also be a lost episode.
Talk about a lost episode. Jeez. No, Dave, I did put it in chat, but
Jeremy,
you went 4 for 6 last week.
I went, oh, really? Oh, I did that well. Oh, I don't recall that. But anyway, so it was a weird matchup. So, and I actually listened to our most recent release, which was, I forgot we did this completely. Micro Mini Kids.
Yeah.
I re-listened to it, and the name that Jeremy was wildly unfair. It was Wild Women of Wongo versus Giant of Marathon from the Film Crew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, man, that was really unfair of me. This is slightly better than that. I think you'll probably do better, but it's a matchup. On paper, it looks like it might be like very difficult because the titles are very similar, but the movies are very different. And today is we are recording this on April 29th, 2025. And I decided to do a little Christmas in Spring theme. So today's matchup is between Santa Claus Conquers the Martian and the Christmas Martian.
Oh, Pooh Flower. Okay.
Yeah, Pooh Flower. Pooh Flower versus, what's that guy's name? Droppo?
Droppo, yeah.
If you like who would you rather have a beer with, Pooh Flower or Droppo?
If you were still doing Storybook, that would be a chapter I would love to read.
Yeah, well, Christmas Martian, absolutely. I would
Christmas
absolutely
Martian and
Pooh Flower.
Droppo against each other.
I actually, I looked at because it's 10 years since I first drew and released the first Storybook, Volume 1. So it's 10 years old. And I looked at Volume 3 the other day.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. I mean, look, the art is great. And like, I'm very proud of what I was able to accomplish with Storybook. But man, you have to have an extremely narrow, esoteric body of knowledge to understand what the hell is going on in these stories. Like, it is not accessible to anybody who's not us.
Was it 3 that you did the Hideous Sun Demon for?
What? Yeah, that was part of the Hideous Sun Demon. That was part of the Summer Shorts parody, where I just did a bunch of different RiffTrax, like one page of, it was very different, where he was in love with Guardiana. But you have to have a very specific. So I decided that, it's great if you have it, great. But if not, it's a collector's item, and I've moved on.
Yeah.
So that's just going to have to be Storybook's fate. But anyway, name that, Jeremy. Santa Claus Conquers the Martian versus the Christmas Martian. Are you ready, sir?
I'm as ready as I'm going to be.
All right. Here, hang on. Let me bring that thing. Number 1. I never saw such lazy people. You've never been to Arizona State.
I'm going to say Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
That is correct. That is Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. We're 1 for 1. Number 2. My cardigan's in danger.
Cardigan's in danger. Oh, boy.
Come here.
I'm totally blanking on that one, so I'm just going to say the Christmas Martian.
That is Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Okay.
Hang on. You're down that way. Okay, sorry. I have a cat that, for some reason, he has decided that he loves the podcast. Like, he only wants my attention while we're doing this. Anyway, so you're 1 for 2.
Okay.
Number 3. Not sure we needed to witness the kids' Christmas movie version of the Baton Death March.
Christmas Martian.
That's correct. That's Christmas Martian.
That was when they were walking through the snow.
That's correct.
With the overhead shot, right?
I think so. I mean, the shot that I saw was profile, but
yeah, I
mean, you got it right. It's fine.
But yeah.
Okay. Number 4. So how are these kids going to be able to breathe on Mars? Relax, Mike. It's Christmas.
Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
That is a Christmas Martian.
What?
Yep. 2 for 4. No, you're doing great. You just got to get these last 2 perfectly. Get it. Okay. Oh my God, it's full of polar bears. The Martians set us up.
Christmas Martian.
That is a Christmas Martian. All right, so you are 3 for 5, and it's all riding on this one. And I actually think you're gonna do pretty good. Are you a television set? Gary Busey asks the mirror that question every morning.
What? I'm just gonna say Christmas Martian.
That's Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Damn it.
So
whatever.
You're
50%.
3 for 6. You're 50. It's fine. You've done worse.
Yeah. I can deal with that. Don't come whining to me.
There's something. Oh, my fuzzy. Look how fuzzy I am.
Focus.
How long has it been like that?
It just started doing that. I guess real quick, we'll do Black Belt Angels, and then Dave can bring us home with his thoughts on Galaxy Invader. Give me just a second. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze again. Maybe not.
What? Bites, I swear.
Okay, Black Belt Angels.
Black Belt Angels, let's do it.
Released in 1994. So 2 years after the first Three Ninjas movie. And I told Dave.
Is it related to Three Ninjas? Guys,
No.
okay, so I'm gonna say I had a lot of yard work to do today. I didn't have a chance to watch this, so Jeremy's gonna have to take the lead on it.
Yeah. No, but it was definitely inspired by that type of movie.
Okay.
So this is about a martial arts school, and the movie looked like 1984. Yeah, it looked like it was 10 years prior. It starts out very No Retreat, No Surrender-ish. They come in and they're trying to buy this building that this martial arts school is in. And there's the random old Asian master and the guy who currently teaches, who's kind of like around the... He's like a Wish.com version of Joe Samurai from Samurai Cop. And stupid beagle. Sorry, she's laying here whining because she wants to go outside. And he's... It says, this is wrong, because it says the owner and his 4 daughters all have black belts, but this guy, I think, was only dad to the 2 blonde girls, and not the other 2 girls in this, the titular black belt angels. And this, oh my god, this movie wasn't great. It made me, I told Dave before we started, I'd rather watch Three Ninjas at Mega Mountain
With Hulk Hogan.
than watch
I didn't
this
know he was in that movie.
by itself.
I didn't know there were 4. I didn't know that there were 4 movies in that franchise.
I did, as I proved by
I know you
remembering the
did.
titles of all of them.
That guys, that's the thing. Me and Jeremy talk for about 15 minutes or so, sometimes even longer than that before the show starts. And we started talking about the Three Ninjas franchise. And I pulled up the Wikipedia page for the franchise, and just as I did, he listed every single one in perfect order, all the titles of these movies.
Yeah,
and I was like, wow.
it's
I should be stunned that you know that, but I don't. But
Three
I'm not.
Ninjas, Three Ninjas Kickback, Three Ninjas Knuckle Up, and Three Ninjas at Mega Mountain.
Knuckle up. Ugh.
That's the
Three
one I think
Ninjas
that it has to
Knuckle
do
Up.
with them helping some Native Americans.
Okay, how does that make it better?
It doesn't. I think that's the third one. Yeah. Anyway, these mafioso guys,
Mafiosos. What is this? Shrunken heads?
they attack these kids, and Three Ninjas Winter Beast. I would watch that.
I wouldn't.
because they would all get destroyed.
They would all find the box with the dildo in it.
Oh, yeah, that would be... Never mind, I changed my mind, Dave. Of course, nobody in this movie really has ever done anything else. Like, I checked the credits just to see,
Of course they haven't.
and no, none of them ever did anything. 3 of them are black belts in Taekwondo, and one of them is a black belt in, like, Hapkido or something. It was something different.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was exactly, and I watched this earlier today. Because I had the day off, so I actually got to do that. And it almost had like a roller gatory vibe to it, specifically because of the fact that they rode around on rollerblades a lot in this movie. Yeah, so we had a rock band and we had Taekwondo, but we had no dragon sound. There was some really awful band that the I don't know if she's the main girl and the teenage boy that she likes that has hair as long as Dave, but he has like the
Is it
personality
uneven like mine?
he has the personality of like a cardboard box.
Oh well. So he's not like me.
Yeah, and he also sings like a cardboard box too. It's
Well, okay. Well, then he's like me in that sense too.
there's a social worker involved because the mob guy is trying to ruin this guy's life.
Wasn't there a movie we watched recently that had a social worker in it? Like in the last 2 years?
Probably. You try and think about that.
Okay, I will. Yeah,
Oliver
and you,
might even
and,
know
and,
the answer,
and, and you finish talking about the karate version of Dancing It's On.
yeah. No, that gives Dancing It's On a bad name.
I love Dancing It's On.
I know, I do too. That's why I said I would not compare this to that at all in any way. The social worker it turns out that her brother was in Vietnam with the dad of the girls, and he died saving the girl's dad, and he never went to go see their family.
Vietnam?
Vietnam, yes.
Yeah, the girl's dad died in Vietnam?
No. The social worker's
in our girl kickboxer movie?
the social worker's brother died saving the girl's dad in Vietnam.
How is that better?
They were in the same unit.
Suddenly got McBain.
So
was there a guy with like an ear necklace?
No, thank God. No, he had to like talk to the social worker. He's like, I thought your last name was familiar, and he's like, I never came to visit your family because I was in the hospital for over a year and doing rehab and all this stuff, and that's why he never went to visit the guy who died saving him's family to like, honor him or whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, I regret taking care of my lawn this afternoon. I should have watched this movie.
It's such a thing on a left turn. It literally comes out of nowhere. And they end up, falling in love, of course. But
I thought this was about like girl ninjas.
Kind of. They're not ninjas. They wear red, white, and blue like uniforms at the end to fight the bad guys. All Star Spangly.
Do they fight the team from Spiker?
Yeah. And the dad gets attacked by a group of ninjas that the mob guy hired, and they shoot him in the butt with a ninja dart, and it makes him act like he's just really drunk. And he's singing the Doors to the girl, the social worker when she finds him. Come on, baby, light my fire. Just
if he had sang the Battle Hymn of the Republic, all uninvited, that would have been the best thing ever.
No, he was singing the Doors. And the other half of the group of ninjas hired to take them out went to the old Asian dude's house, who had a Jack Daniels bottle on his table with like this much left in it, and they started fighting him, and he's of course a drunken master, and
like Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, so they're fighting him, and they're using all these super goofy sound effects whenever he hits them with like a table or whatever. It's like and like little bonks and like the little like running noise from like the Flintstones, like a couple beats of that. It was really, really bizarre. The master gets captured. The dad goes to this boathouse to save him. He's supposed to bring the deed to the gym, and he finds the deed in the master's house, and he already signed it over to him. So the dad owns the martial arts school now.
Oh, okay. This is like equal parts Karate Kid 3. What's that other one that you love? No Retreat, No Surrender. Like it seems very in that vein.
Yeah.
Where
Oliver brings up a good point too. A lot of sped up video when they were fighting. They sped
like
up.
Samurai Code?
Yeah, they sped it up while they were fighting to make it look like they were moving at a good speed. So you know that they were like going like this, like blocking and kicking and trying not to hit people, and then speeding it up to make it look natural. like the driving in Samurai Cop.
Yeah,
or
like the
fight,
driving in Samurai
the fight
Cop,
at the
yeah.
end with him and Zadar, and it was just even as a kid I would have noticed that. Of course,
Well,
I wasn't
quite
a kid when this came out.
People
but...
who make these movies don't realize that we notice obvious things.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like when you're a kid, like I was guilty of this, like making movies on like the camcorder and stuff like that, and you have like the editing equipment at high school, and you don't know, it'd be like people will never notice that we like turned the speed up on this, and because we're kids and we're stupid.
Yeah.
But of course, normal people are going to notice that.
If only you had Video Toaster 4000, Dave, you would have been able to edit it and make it look really.
It would have been perfect. Okay, but the thing is that when you grow up, you kind of like, okay, I would definitely notice this, so I'm not going to put this in my professionally released and distributed movie.
Yeah.
That's stuff that you do in like high school and like junior high when you're making little stop motion time travel movies in your front yard. I'm not saying I did that, but I definitely did.
There's a whole scene where after the dad and the master are captured in the boathouse,
The master.
It might as well have been. The social worker lady drives like 5 RC police cars around the building and starts setting off the sirens on them, and they're all like, "Oh, it's the cops!" And like a bunch of the ninjas run and jump into the ocean for some reason to get away, and they realize, oh, it's not actually police. Go see who's messing around out there, and these ninjas go up to the cars to investigate, and they explode. And there's like the black belt angels, the 4 girls, and there's just like a crowd of people. That's a bunch of the boys who had super soakers that they're spraying the ninjas with super soakers, and they're like acting like they're like in major pain, and they make a joke about putting hot sauce in the super soakers, and I'm like, okay,
oh come on,
no, Mike, Kevin, and Bill make the joke about them putting hot sauce in the super soakers because that's what it looks. That's what they're reacting like. But they're just all standing around watching and laughing as these ninjas are getting blown up by these RC cars. It's great.
Wasn't there a Quentin Tarantino movie? I don't think he directed it, with like Dennis Miller, where they fought vampires with super soakers filled with holy water.
That wasn't. I don't think that was Tarantino.
I think he was in it.
Dennis Miller. That was Bordello of Blood.
Okay.
That was
okay.
That was a Tales from the Crypt movie.
No. Oh God. No. What I'm saying is that okay? So, super soakers is very, very like late '80s, early '90s. I'm gonna say probably more early '90s.
Yeah.
When that was like a big thing, where you could like pump it up, because we had those here at my house. And they were just like these, they were popular for a very brief period of time, like 1990, 1991. I would dare say. But you couldn't put anything in those things.
No, they would get clogged up if you tried.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, no, like if you put anything that is not water in those things, it would ruin your expensive, back then, $50 squirt gun.
Yeah, those were very expensive back in the day.
Yeah. So like, no, not like, nope, not gonna happen. And it's kind of like a lot of things in that era. Super soakers, rollerblades. It was from the era when like our parents all thought that we were going to be corrupted by the sass mouth of Sonic the Hedgehog and Bart Simpson.
Or Beavis and Butthead. My dad.
Yeah, well, that was a little bit later. I mean, more specifically, like early 90s.
Yes.
Like when I was like 10, when I was like 9 and 10 years old. like all this very.
Sorry.
So, but like I think it's indicative of this phenomenon where adults will try to take something that's like cool to kids that they don't really understand to try to relate to kids.
Yeah. Hey, fellow kids.
Yeah, hey, fellow children, I have a super soaker. I was born in 1946, but I'm going to spray you with this super soaker. I'm a cool dad.
Yeah. The main mafioso bad guy gets away with dad tied up in a ship, and he's sailing out into the harbor, and they get in the social worker's car and race to a bridge that he has to go over, and the oldest girl jumps off the bridge through the tarp thing on the top of the canopy, beats the crap out of the ninjas, and then you see them pulling off, and her and dad are waving to the other girls up on the bridge, and they have the guy tied up behind them, and that's the end of the movie. They literally just like keep going off into the distance on the boat. But I wanted to read.
Is it like Light Blast and Haunted Weem?
It just kind of ends.
Where it just slams into,
and they're just waving the whole time.
It's kind of like how I ended my overnight janitorial job.
Yeah,
where I just crash that thing right into a pole.
Yeah.
I'd walk away and say, "See you later, fuckers. Bye."
They make a joke over the credits that Mike, Kevin, and Bill are just going to be standing there waving at them even after the movie ends. But I want to read this review of this movie on IMDb, because I was looking for any information on this movie. There's not much out there. There's a little teeny tiny baby Wikipedia page, and then there's more stuff in the user reviews for Black Belt Angels than there is anywhere else. And there's like a 3 out of 10. Best when viewed after a big glass of wine. 5 out of 10. A couple that are unrated. And then there's one that's marked 10 out of 10.
Oh.
The severely underrated 90s cult classic. Okay.
What's not that?
I gotta read this whole thing to you. It's not very long.
Okay.
I was 7 years old in 1994, and I didn't know much about this movie until I watched it recently on YouTube. 4 strong young ladies go on a mission to save their martial arts school from the Mafia Lucero syndicate. Lucero and his creeps plotted to close the school to build a new crime operation. No matter what the Mafia throws at the girls, keep fighting back. The biggest battle is anticipated when Lucero syndicate attacks Master Lee and sets up a trap, and it gets even more dangerous, prompting the Black Belt Angels to respond, and they get alliances to even the odds. Rescuing Master Lee was not an easy task, but the Angels pulled through with strong help. This movie is fun, fierce, and cute, but at the same time, I recommend it regardless. This is from
Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers was getting made fun of when all the boys were making fun of her at the baseball diamond, and she stood up. She stood up. Empowerment. You can do it, girls. Give me a break.
But that's from July 6th of 2024. I just thought it was funny. Yeah, I'm sure it's a fake review. But
they applied that treatment, the Captain Marvel treatment, to what the hell was the name of this movie?
Black Belt Angels.
Black Belt Angels. I don't know. Like, if you like Captain Marvel, fine, whatever. It's very meh, but I get why girls like it. I don't know if you can apply that to this movie, and I've only seen like little tiny clips of it from the sample. But I don't think that it applies.
No, not at all. Not at all. But I did really enjoy it. I wouldn't say it's like an instant classic, but I also wouldn't say that you have to wait till it's on like Friends or whatever to watch it. I think you could buy it and have a good time with it. The movie's bad. It's not as bad as some of the other movies we've had recently. Like American
Werewolf.
We
got some bad ones,
but it is pretty bad. But yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got about it.
Well, I mean, we're up against it on time. I don't know if I really need to talk about Galaxy Invader now. We went pretty long.
Yeah.
I guess I'll say, we covered a lot of it in what's probably going to be a lost episode, because I can't imagine Jeremy's going to put a 30-minute episode.
No, it'll go up like I said
in the feed for Galaxy Invader. So I'll just say that it is classic RiffTrax. Don Dohler should be in jail. There's a lot of, like, what I took away from Galaxy Invader was that, number one, it's the most extended skits, like skits from Mike, Kevin, and Bill, of any RiffTrax that is in my head.
Yeah.
Because it literally starts off with an extended skit during the credits. It's like very MST3K, late MST, like sci-fi era MST3K in that regard. But it's at least 5 or 6 more during that, because Don Dohler just shoots like long passages of nothing. You would think that this alien that the movie is very famous for, made famous by pod people. They, use parts of it in pod people without permission. You would think that the focus would be this guy in an alien suit. No, the bad guy is this horrible father with a ripped shirt that threatens his family members with a shotgun on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And the focus is really on him. It's very classic 2011 RiffTrax. I recommend it. Love it. 10 stars. Movie's garbage.
Yeah.
But
the riff is great.
Classic RiffTrax.
That's one that I have on physical, and I'm pretty sure I talked about that last week too, that it disappeared for a while off of the website, so I went, oh no, I don't have this one. So I bought a copy of it on DVD for like $10.
Well, I mean, okay, so RiffTrax, like we live in a culture, like I think this is more or less video games, but like, maybe it's going to apply to Amazon or like other platforms as well as far as movies go, is that you don't own anything. RiffTrax, you own everything.
Yeah.
Even if it turns out they bought the movie from someone who wasn't authorized to sell it to them, like Nightmare at Noon.
Yeah.
You still have it in your life.
Yeah, if you bought it while it was available, you still have it.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud, because maybe now they'll have to take it down.
Even Wizards of the Lost Kingdom.
Yeah.
If you bought it for the weekend that it was available.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Like that was 9 years ago, and it's like still, or maybe not, or maybe like 7, but it's still like it was there, and then it was suddenly not available. Like what? And we have theories about that.
And then it showed up on MST3K. Yep.
That's exactly how it went.
Yep. But I think that's probably going to do it for us today, guys.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good episode.
Yeah.
Just like go ahead and rename the episode Scooby-Doo Porn and see how well that does in the algo.
Yeah, I don't think when that gets uploaded to like YouTube and stuff, I don't think they'll like that very much.
What? Oh, just changing the title?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna stay Punky Brewster with Roid Rage.
Punky, yeah. Oh man, can you imagine the shifter erotica of knockoff Punky Brewster?
Dave, you need to stop.
Okay, I'll stop.
You need to stop. If you like the podcast, even with the dumb Scooby-Doo porn stuff, you can support us by following us right here on Twitch. If you're listening to this after the fact, it's twitch.tv/TBRiffcast.
Yes, we changed that. That's very important.
Yes, I changed it from PB and Awesome to. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I just never did. And then I kind of forgot about it, and then it just kind of hit me a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was going to do that. I was kind of surprised that you did it, because you do use this channel to like play other stuff. Yeah, every once in a while. I don't as much anymore. I did earlier today, and it's kind of weird when I'm watching other people. Like, I went into Edgy's stream after I first changed it, and I'm like, oh, by the way, this is PB and Awesome. We rebranded the channel for the podcast. And so Edgy was like, oh, okay. And I had to do that with a couple other people, Ammo and Rick, and then Robot Co-op.
Yep.
But, yeah, you can twitch.tv/TBRipcast. And you can follow the podcast on social medias. It's usually at TB Riffcast. And you can find me at PB and Awesome.
And I'm Dave, and you can check me out on Amazon and Audible. Get spaghetti and meatballs, you bastards.
And that's going to do it for us this week. We'll see you guys next time right here on the True Blue Riffcast.
Rock till you die.